Home sweet home as the Edmonton Oilers are finally done their 7-game road trip, and they got to sleep in their own beds for the last couple nights, and they will take to Rogers Place Ice this evening for a rematch of the two-time Western Conference Finals. The last 2 years, hey, the one team we've been able to feel like dummy in the Western Conference has been the Dallas Stars the last 2 seasons, but this is a new year. Should be a good one tonight. The only game in the NHL schedule makers decided to take the night off tonight as we got the whole hockey world watching this one go down. Oilers Stars, Stars Oilers. Should be a good one this evening. But hello and welcome to Pregaming with Bordzy and Pangsy, which is brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, you know it, folks. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, please play responsibly. Joined by one, Sean Panganiban, the aforementioned Pangsy here on Pregaming. Writer here at Oilers Nation. Was just on the sauce. Made his Ryder and Lisa debut. And Pangs, it was wild. It was a good listen, I'll tell you, for a guy who's spent a lot of time with Pangs. Didn't know the whole Pangs life story. I was flabbergasted. Might even use that as the word choice. Panger, you're back down here at Dogpatch. I feel like I've seen a lot of you in the month of November. I am not complaining. We love getting Bordzy and Pangsy. Give me a vibe check heading into tonight.
Vibe checks are high. I get to do one at Dogpatch again today. The beers are flowing. I'm looking forward to the meal. And I want to give a big birthday shout out. Happy birthday to my mother-in-law, Astrid. Astrid, happy birthday, and thank you for everything that you do. And for the Oilers, the vibes are at a maximum. Coming off a long, grueling road trip. Like you said, they get to sleep in their own bed. I think for Connor McDavid, he got to go home and pet his dog, Lenny, and give him some treats. So Lenny's happy. Connor McDavid's likely happy. And as a result, the rest of the team should be happy right now.
What more can you ask for? It starts at the top of the pyramid and it works its way down. And the top of that pyramid is Lenny. I've never met the guy and I miss him. So shout out to Lenny. Also, shout out to mother-in-law. Thank you for giving me Pangsy. I know that you technically don't birth Panganiban for that, but you've kept him happy. He's somehow still alive. So shout out to you. Shout out, happy birthday. I've been raised right. You never ask a woman her age. So I'm going to assume this was her 29th birthday. Shout out to her. I'm older than you, but we are down at Dogpatch for another lovely evening because Pangs, I don't want to give you FOMO here right now, but we were down here Saturday night for the Nation Night Out, and it was a good one. Lots of beers, lots of tequila shots, some of them live here on Pregaming with Bordzy. It's very funny. Liam, Liam's he's not a booze hound like I am, or maybe Brett is, or some of us here at Oilers Nation. And Lisa dropped those tequila shots live on the air in front. And I was very curious if Liam was going to take it or not, or be polite for content for the show. He did it. Liam was electric all night long. I love you. Once again, need to follow Oilers Nation every day on Instagram because we had Lance Kane giving intermission reports as well. And Liam just good goal, Edmonton Oilers in his lovely, lovely English accent. It was a very, very good evening. Also, shout out the Nation nachos that I had down here. They need to make that a real menu item because it was off the hook. But Panger, we're here for Tuesday night. That means it's pizza night down here at Dogpatch. I forget. Maybe I need Brett to remind me which pizza it was. I think it was called the No Name Pizza. They post it on every Tuesday on Instagram. It looks unbelievable. Awesome. I can't wait to get it. Have you looked at the menu? Do you know what you're going to get?
I do know what I'm getting tonight. I think it's called the Bomb Burger.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so good. It has goat cheese, which I don't know if I'm sure I've had that before, but never aware of it. Yeah. That shit was off the hook. That was bomb burger.
What are you getting?
Shout out Dogpatch. I think I'm going to do the No Name Pizza.
Right.
I think I'm going to have to. Maybe a side of dill pickle chowder with some focaccia.
Ooh.
I'm getting hungry, horny right now for food. This isn't good. Let's get caught up in the chat, as they also tend to be horny from time to time. First comment, it's Austin. Everything's back. Everything's back on the rails, back on home ice. And Austin's the first comment of the day. Says, Bordzy, you know what to do. The rest of you, check the pulse, bring the vibes, chill the bevies. Dogpatch will do that for me. This is our house. Let's make sure they don't forget it. I think the Dallas Stars are well aware that this is the Edmonton Oilers' house, as they have not had a great track record here over the last 24 months, you could say. Then he closes it out with a simple hope will never die. Mr. Burns, who was here on Saturday for the Nation Night Out, says, let's go Oilers. We need a win tonight. with how many away games we've had, I'm beginning to forget what La Bamba sounded like. Cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Right. We do need a little bit of La Bamba. I mean, I still listen to it on my drive home usually after every time the Oilers win. It's the first song I play after I drop Brett off.
May I say one thing?
Yep.
When I saw you on the sauce and when you were teaching them, Lisa and Ryder, to say cup, yeah, you're
Cup,
like,
yeah.
you need to add an H.
It's spelled Y-E-A-H-R. Yeah, yeah. It's like Boston. I'm
Oh,
wicked
man.
smart. I'm wicked smart.
Cup, yeah.
Right there. Thank you, Brett. There he is, the God above. Dre's in. He says, let's fucking go, boys. We got Ash King 87. I believe that's Amanda. This whole name thing's really frustrating me on YouTube. I think the person has to do it themselves. If anybody in the chat has your actual username now showing, be a pal. Help out the rest of the chat and how we can get back to seeing the alter egos of Jack Roslovic, Darnell Nurse. I miss seeing Bordzy in the chat from time to time. She says, big old W tonight, please. Lance Kane, nothing but W's incoming. Lance was awesome on Saturday night. I just love Lance. Lance, you're the man. You're a great guy to booze with. Bob Stauffer, I know that's his nickname on this. I saw it wasn't just Nick Kyprios talking about bins to the Oilers for Stu, but also Elliot Friedman. Now, this maybe isn't necessarily a pre-gaming topic, has nothing to do with the Oilers tonight or the Dallas Stars, but there was Nick Kyprios came out with his first trade article, trade board of the season, and the number one name was Jordan Binnington. Then, of course, Nick Kyprios isn't the guy that I'm going to be listening to when it comes to these sorts of things, but Elliot Friedman also kind of shared the same sentiment. Sounds like the St. Louis Blues are maybe hitting their breaking point here, and they might be willing to make a move that could involve one Jordan Binnington. We've heard Colton Parayko's name be tossed around from time to time. I know Braden Shen could be big on the trade market this trade deadline season. I don't know. I'll tell you where I personally come out on this. The way I said it to you is that feels like, at least right now, Jordan Binnington is not having a good season. I understand we're all still have the image of the Four Nations and how clutch he was, and we know he did that for a Stanley Cup Finals run before years ago, I might add, because he has not had a good start to the year. Stuart Skinner has had considerably better numbers than Jordan Binnington this year, and kind of the argument we talked about at pre-show is that, in my opinion, my humble opinion, if you make that deal, you're only downgrading in the net for a more expensive goaltender, therefore making your salary cap picture a little bit more messed up next season. I know there's been discussion of maybe you could throw in a defenseman in this trade as well. I don't know. The Oilers are kind of up against it at the cap. I feel like it might just be waiting until next July here to make a move on the goaltending front. Panger, where do you come out on? I know you work a real job during the day, so you may have missed some of this, but Kyprios just lit a match, threw it on some gasoline, and then Elliot Friedman came in a little bit as well. What's your initial thoughts on the proposed deal?
For sure. I think I don't know if this is the correct saying, but it's, go with the devil you know than the devil that you don't know, right? Stuart Skinner has had better numbers than Jordan Binnington this season. And yeah, like you said, you tack on an extra year. His contract ends 2006 to 2007. You tack on, one more year, more money. And I think with Stuart Skinner, I think with this homestand is a huge test for Stuart Skinner. All eyes are going to be on him. Stan Bowman's going to be watching. And hey, if it's not working out this year, the Oilers can just kind of cut him loose. So I don't know about that trade.
I'm not in on it. Brett, make a poll. Make a poll. And once again, we don't know what the details are, but maybe just make the poll. Are you interested in Jordan Binnington? Because yeah, man, he's clutch. He's got ice in the veins. And I guess that is when Stuart Skinner has faltered for the Edmonton Oilers, is in the big moments. He's also played really damn well in some big moments as well. Tough one, and that's why I'm happy I'm not Stan Bowman, and I don't have to make decisions around this team. Lisa's in from Ryder and Lisa. She said, Bordzy, do you work 24 hours a day? Yeah, I do, but I have the greatest job in the world, and I get a guzz beers left, right, and center. Also, millimeter away from splitting the G on today's beer pants.
Very close.
That's just upset that he doesn't get to be down here and drink free beers courtesy of Dogpatch. But you know what Brett is drinking? 6 beers courtesy of Bo in the chat as he came here on Saturday night. He's kind of backed himself into a corner where he kind of gives gifts every time. So, I mean, once again, you could show up empty-handed, Bo. I love you. but he's a guy who loves to go the extra mile. Much like you, Pangs, as you came in, Pangs always comes in bearing gifts. So, like, I met Pangs, last year, the year before? I can't remember. And it was just in the office. Okay, I really like Pangs. Let's hang out. I'm going to make you do pre and post with me because I need someone to do it. We've bonded well. Pangs used to, in the beginning of our pre and post days, always bring the greatest snacks you've ever seen. He brought in like chips, multiple bags of good Miss Vicky's or Tostitos, salsa, nacho cheese. It's a real shame we're down here at Dogpatch. We don't get to eat those processed snacks anymore. And then today, Pangs, you outdid yourself and brought 2 gifts. Not 1, 2. 1 for me, 1 for Brett. Share with the class.
Yeah, I just there's on Marketplace. There's this guy who was selling his sports memorabilia a lot, and it came with a ton of hats. And last time I was here, he's wearing a Patriots
Shout out
jersey.
Drake,
I'm like,
man.
hey, you're a Patriots fan? I was like, I got a couple hats I need to give away. And then there was a UCLA hat I didn't know what I was going to do. And I brought it, and I just saw Brett staring at him like, hey, I think you might like this. He's like, yeah, that's my favorite college team. I'm like, hey, good. It worked out. I didn't know what to do with it. That's their favorite teams. It worked out.
Shout out, Pangs. Pressure. And it's a Super Bowl New England Patriots hat as well. Which one, you might ask? I believe it was against the Eagles where they lost, actually. So shout out that. Also, some people in the chat. Dre says, shout out Drake May. Go Pats. Always need to find a way to squeak that in. And then Lisa did say beauty number 1 and beauty number 2.
Oh,
so Pangs, you get that. And then don't worry, she didn't forget about Brett. She said Brett is beauty number 3.
Thought I was chopped liver here for a second.
No, you're the god above when my face lights up when I look up to try and talk to you. Shout out Brett Holden. Does a bang up job producing. And I tell you, this week, this is Brett's only pre and post game show he has to do. And we'll talk about it. The Oilers, after a very busy 2 weeks, have a very chill week this week. And Bert, he's taking the Saturday off. Shout out Patrick Puff. He's in the bullpen, gets the call. He's ready to go. So it's been tough for the Oilers. The pre and post boys need a break too, even though I'll still be here on Saturday, but 3 days with no games. And Stranger Things comes out tomorrow. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no Oiler game. Like hours of Stranger Things. I think it's 4 episodes, and each of them is very long. It's going to be a big week for the Boardsman. The Boardsman gets paid. But the Edmonton Oilers, we've killed 13 minutes already without talking about the Edmonton Oilers. That's what you get here on Pregaming. But the Edmonton Oilers have returned home after a 7-game road trip that had some ups, had some downs, but at the end of the day, they go 3-3-1 and grab 7 of a possible 14 points, which was the goal before the road trip on this show. And then the Oilers experienced a couple bit of injuries, had some very tough competition, 2 back-to-backs in that set. It was 7 games in 11 days. So they got wins over Philly, Carolina, and Florida. It's not quite Stanley Cup Finals revenge, but damn it, I will take it. They lost to Columbus, lost real bad to Buffalo, and then, of course, Washington, and then they lost in overtime to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Buffalo was really the only blowout on this trip, and we thought Colorado 9-1 was rock bottom, which I still think it was. But there is a number 2 there in the vote, and it would be losing 5-1 to the Buffalo Sabres was not really good. But since then, and this maybe includes the second half of the Washington game, I'll say, but Washington, Tampa, and Florida. The Edmonton Oilers, don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but appear to have at least turned a corner in some specific facets of their game that were really, really hurting them. Nice. That's Brett's computer here.
I was like,
and Brett probably got it upstairs as
Why
well.
do people not understand this guy has a job?
Because it's 6:15 at night, 40 minutes before the Oilers game. But they should know what you probably do, Brett, as well. But since then, so the Oilers, they responded. And like the areas that I'm talking about was the physicality, the aggression, and playing with emotion. Not only did we see multiple fights on this road trip, but we saw the Oilers getting in scrums. We saw Oilers defending their teammates in multiple situations. Remember Jake Wallman getting blasted by Curtis Douglas. Darnell Nurse got, in my opinion, a bullshit instigating penalty for coming in to defend his boy. And even in moments that didn't result in fights, we saw Tom Wilson take a slash at Matt Savoy. Connor McDavid came in, Vasily Podkolzin defending Connor McDavid. And Pods has been a little bit vocal about, hey, this shit stops now when it comes to our star players getting used and abused. Because that Philadelphia game was probably the worst one, where Connor McDavid was just getting ragdolled all over the ice. But we've seen some guys start to improve their game a bit. Brent Frederick starting to be engaged, producing a little a couple of points, I will say. Vasily Podkolzin as well. Darnell Nurse, all of a sudden, is playing great for this Oilers team. And in the month of November, Evan Bouchard, talk about Jack Roslovic being the MVP. Well, Bouch has just slid under the radar, was unbelievable Saturday night against the Florida Panthers. 3 points plus 5. Looking pretty good for Bouch right now. So the Oilers could be starting to turn the page. Zach Hyman spoke to the media earlier, and he kind of mentioned how, we're done this road trip now. The Oilers done their 2 biggest trips they will do all season. And now they're going to play 6 of their next 7 games at home. And he mentioned how this team has kind of been doubted before from time to time, but I don't know if you're a betting man, which I am. Tend to bet on the Edmonton Oilers. Let's take a listen to what Zach Hyman had to say.
I mean, I think given where we are and how many things we can improve on, I think you can look at it 2 ways. You can be a pessimist and say, wow, there's a lot of things these guys need to clean up, or you can be an optimist and say, wow, if we clean these things up, look how good we can be, right? So,
and which are you, sir?
I'm always the optimist, yeah. And I think this team has shown over the years. Every year a team's different, but I think this team has shown over the years not to doubt this group and not to count this group out. And given where we are, I think we're in a phenomenal spot to clean things up and to get out front.
I love the optimism from Zachary Martin Hyman. I said to you, he'd do great on pre-gaming, damn it, because this is the show, 60 Minutes, where we're optimistic as hell. I mean, one positive from the road trip, Pangs, is that it's over and that the Edmonton Oilers do not have to go on one that long for quite some time. However, I do believe in December, they have a 4 or 5 game road trip.
Nice.
After that, it gets really good for the Edmonton Oilers. Overall takeaways from the road trip, like I said, 3-3-1 looks pretty good when you consider some of the injuries that went down, the state of the team before they went on it, then obviously the opposition, some of the teams they were playing. How'd you feel about the roadie overall?
Absolutely. 3-3-1, not bad, all things considered. When I was looking at those 7 games, I'm like, the Oilers could actually lose all of these. But hey, 3-3-1, we'll take it. And I think what you were talking about, I feel it started with Vasily Podkolzin in the blowout against the Buffalo Sabres there. After that game, he said, we're going to protect our leaders. We're going to get if people are going to go after them. And what he did, he showed that against against Florida when Belinkis went at him. Vasily Podkolzin stuck up for his captain and just showed and stood in Belinkis' face that no one's going to push my captain around. But overall, the team, you mentioned it, they have that pack mentality. Darnell Nurse stuck up for Jake Wallman after he took a big hit. Like you said, Connor McDavid stuck up for Matt Savoy. So I love that the Edmonton Oilers are finally having each other's backs. And as a result, they're playing harder. The last 2 games, they're forechecking like demons. They had each other's backs. So overall, they're playing like a unit now.
We've said the words building blocks a lot in the first 24 games of the season, but it does really feel like the emotion, at least. I made the joke that I forgot the Edmonton Oilers could forecheck in the first 20 games of the season. And over the last couple, they've been the aggressor. They've been pushing the pace. And after a hectic 2 weeks on the road, the Edmonton Oilers are going to have a chillaxed 1 week here. They only got 2 games this week. So tonight it's going to be Dallas in town. We obviously know. And then Wednesday, no game. Thursday, no game. Friday, no game. I am more excited about this than the Edmonton Oilers could possibly be. And then on Saturday, a 2 p.m. game against the Seattle Kraken. Bordzy gets both nights on the weekend. Feeling pretty good about that one on Saturday. But Edmonton has played 24 games so far this season. That's tied for the most in the entire NHL with 2 other teams. 16 of those 24 games have been on the road so far this year. And Edmonton has had quite the condensed schedule. I think everybody has in the Olympic year. Matthias Ekholm kind of spoke about it recently. And I mean, a week or so ago, he mentioned on the trip, I feel like we haven't had a legitimate practice in what feels like a week or 2 because they're always on the road. You're just getting your morning skates. You're arriving in the city the night before. I said 2 back-to-backs that were going down. 7 games in 11 days was a lot for them. Was a lot for us. A lot for everybody. But it's going to be chill this week, and I guess that leads into the conversation. There is a couple injuries here for the Edmonton Oilers. They might be back home tonight, but they're not going to have any fresh reinforcements into the lineup. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, we thought there might be a possible return tonight, but he is not expected to take the ice, as well as Kasperi Kapanen. But Chris Knobloch mentioned Kasperi Kapanen, cheeks, haven't said that in a minute, is getting close, quote unquote. So, Nobby also mentioned expect Nuge to be back on Saturday against the Seattle Kraken. Nuge was skating with the team. So was Kapanen today. Nuge gave a good interview. He kind of mentioned that he said, it's pretty lonely for 11 days. It was just me and Cheeks out on the ice together trying to, keep it going. Noah Philp and Curtis Lazar are both expected to be out another week. And then that's not it. Jake Walman not going to be playing tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. Still working his way back from a lower body injury that he sustained Thursday against Tampa. Remember, he got lit up by Douglas, and then he blocked a shot in front of Calvin Pickard, stayed on the ice post-whistle, had to kind of be pushed and dragged over the bench. It's nothing serious, says head coach Chris Knobloch, but maybe expect him back on Saturday. He was more vocal about Nuge than he was Jake Walman. Feels like every team in the NHL, obviously, deals with injuries or suspensions in tonight's opponent in the Dallas Stars. More on that in just a second. The Oilers, overall, you consider it, they've been pretty lucky with the injury situation so far this year, but it did start to pile up on this road trip for them. They'll run the same lineup as they did in Saturday night, at least we expect. Hopeful to get some reinforcements on Saturday. All things considered, though, a couple injuries. Pretty thrilled with the way this team is starting to take shape. And then you always play the game of fully healthy. You look at this depth chart, you look at this roster for the Edmonton Oilers. My, oh my, am I excited for the Nuge to make his return. Kasperi Kapanen as well. We forget how well he played last season for the Oilers. Earned a contract extension as well. Thoughts on the injuries. They're battling right now, but soon we should be getting some reinforcements, hopefully Saturday.
Absolutely. The return of Zach Hyman, him coming back, you slowly start to put people in their appropriate places. And even with Zach Hyman on the third line. But yeah, as soon as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins returns, it's going to be a question of where does he go in the lineup? Is he going to go in the top six? The person he might be replacing might be Matt Savoy. But at the same time, with his confidence on that road trip, you drop Matt Savoy down to those bottom lines, he could be actually a driver on those bottom lines. So the more that players return, and Kasperi Kapanen is really interesting. When he got out of the lineup, he actually was like second or third on the team in hits for like 7 games after he got injured. So
sounds about right. Sounds about right.
You know what he brings? He brings reliability and he injects speed into the lineup. And hey, that guy scored some big goal. He scored an OT series winner last year. So Kasperi Kapanen, when he comes back to you, he just adds veteran leadership to the lineup.
Once again, Kasperi Cheeks had some serious chemistry with Vasily Podkolzin and Leon Draisaitl last season. Once again, earned him a contract extension. He was scoring goals, but scoring big goals for the Edmonton Oilers, the ones that mean a little bit more. Also, shout out tonight, forgot to mention off the hop, it's Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Awesome. It's always a good thing. We had Mike Stelter on Oilers Nation every day. Earlier today, it was always good to talk to him. We did mention, so last year we raised $10,000 for the Ben Stelter Foundation. Not we, you people at home raised it. Shout out to the Super Chats. You guys do great, great work. Always going to a good cause. And then, again, our queen in here, $10. Tammy, she says a little pre-gardening, pre-donation, pre-gaming for Ben always. We got, the moment we had Mike on the show today, we had multiple $200 donations for the foundation. This chat's unbelievable. You guys are great. But tonight, Hockey Fights Cancer Night. I think I speak for everyone when I say, fuck cancer, dude. Fuck cancer. Also, fuck the Dallas Stars and possibly Mikko Rantanen. So tonight, we renew I guess a new rivalry with the Dallas Stars. We obviously had an old rivalry. I saw somebody mentioned it, that they looked at the new jerseys that the Dallas Stars had released and that they gave him some flashbacks. There it is. Mark said those new Stars jerseys triggered a bit of Dallas PTSD. Brett, maybe throw them up on the screen right now. Let's take a look at these. They're not going to wear these tonight. Obviously, they are on the road, but hate to say it, those are kind of sick, and they do make my skin crawl. Banger, you're a little bit older than I am.
Yep.
You're probably more haunted by this generation of Dallas Stars. If Jake Ottinger, when he wears these, wears an Eagle helmet for Ed Belfour, Eddie the Eagle, I might lose it. But what do you think about these jerseys?
Yeah, it invokes a little bit of bad memories in the 90s. That was when I was like glued to the Oilers and really into it. You had Sergei Zubov on the blue line there, Mike Modano streaking,
Darian Hatcher,
Darian Hatcher lighting people up, and then Eddie the Eagle making huge saves. So seeing that, I do have a little bit of PTSD about that.
Yeah, don't feel good about it. Get it off the screen there, Brett. So these two teams, they know each other very, very well, obviously. Back-to-back Western Conference Finals matchup the last 2 seasons, which the Oilers have done pretty well. In 2024, they won 4-2, and last year they won it in 5 games against these Dallas Stars. You could argue Edmonton's top skill has outweighed the Dallas Stars in these big moments. Hey, Rantanen, Robertson, Hintz, they're good players. They are not Connor, Leon, and Evan Bouchard. While some people would be shocked by it, not me, damn it. I'm a truther. But Stuart Skinner has thoroughly outplayed Jake Ottinger in both of these playoff series. In the clutch, Stu has been unreal against the Dallas Stars. We'll have more on his playoff numbers against the Stars a little bit later on. It's nuts. But we've seen some high-quality hockey from both of these rosters. And tonight, you'll still have high quality for the lineup tonight for the Dallas Stars, but there will be no Mikko Rantanen. So if you haven't seen it, you've been living under a rock for the last couple of days. Mikko Rantanen, Brett's a WWE guy, has officially turned heel. He's become the bad boy of the NHL. Bert, maybe just play the highlights right now because he had not one, but 2 disgusting hits over the last week. So this first one is against Alexander Romanov, still not entirely certain how to say it. And he's going in to play a puck behind his net, and Rantanen goes right through him directly in the back.
Oh.
The argument was made that Rantanen was pushed in. And once again, when you're going at such high speeds, I don't know. We watch it in slow motion. I think there was contact in my, once again, humble opinion. There wasn't enough contact for that shit to go down. And then 2 games later, here he is against Matt Coronado, where he takes multiple strides, sees numbers, sees the 2-7 of Coronado, and he drills him directly in the back, directly in the boards. Coronado was bleeding. I'm not going to say it often. Shout out Jonathan Huberdeau because he comes in to try and defend his teammate here. These were 2 nasty hits from Rantanen, 2 hits that each game got him a 5-minute game misconduct. And there is now a rule in the NHL where if you have 2 game misconduct penalties within the first 41 games of the NHL season, 41 consecutive games, I do believe the way that they have worded it, you are going to get an auto suspension, and it just so happens for the Oilers' benefit to fall tonight as the Stars are in town to take on these Oilers. Initial thoughts, Panger? Those are some nasty hits, and he did get thrown out of each game, so I guess there's that argument for discipline. I don't even know which one I hate more. The Romanov one, he's expected to be out 5 to 6 months. So pretty much the rest of the season. Islanders are having a good year. Don't imagine they're going to make it that far in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then he does it 2 games later against Matt Coronado, which, hey, I love that you're taking out Flames players, but do it within the rules. Do it within the lines of the NHL there. What do you think about watching these 2 hits? They were bad, dude.
Yeah, those are absolutely nasty. You don't want that in the game. You're going to hurt someone. And Mikko Rantanen, rightfully so. Yeah, the majors, he's suspended. Take a look at his penalty minutes. I didn't realize Mikko Rantanen was so rough. Taking a look at the penalty minutes. 57 minutes he has on the season. And the second person is Alex Petrovic, who plays that rough and tumble style. There's such a substantial difference in minutes there. Mikko Rantanen, fortunately for the Oilers, I'm glad that he's out tonight.
Yeah, me too. He's also leading the Dallas Stars in points. He's not leading them in goals. He's had some highlight reel tallies so far this season, but tonight, not tonight for Mikko. Question, we discussed it in the office all day today. Is Mikko Rantanen a superstar in the NHL?
There's that top tier of superstars, and he's just on the edge for me.
Okay, I agree with that. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I said.
Okay.
Is David Pastrnak the same type of player? Because he is for me. I said the only other one that I could put next to him that's maybe a superstar, but for me, he's not. Pasta and Rantanen are not Connor, Leon, McKinnon. I still say that Matthews is a superstar, even though he's not having a great season thus far. But what do you think? Pastrnak, kind of same realm?
I would put those guys in the same category, and I would agree with you on the Matthews thing. My brother-in-law is going to be happy for saying that. I agree. Matthews in that superstar category, and then those 2 are together.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go now to our need-to-know information courtesy of Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn that Wilhauk name. Made from 100% Alberta beef, their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products exclusively out of their Leduc location. Or for more information and to get yo jerky on, head on over to WilhaukBeefJerky.com. Okay, hold on. Quickly, let's do it. who are the superstars? Connor McDavid, Connor Leon, McKinnon, Matthews. You still want to put him in there?
Matthews.
I am. Cale Makar.
Cale Makar.
Is Kucherov there?
He's slightly, just because I think he plays in Tampa Bay.
Exactly.
And we don't see him too much.
So I think on that, I could go those 6.
Sidney Crosby, Alex
Crosby, that was the other.
I think he's just legend status.
Yeah, actually, he's even above.
Yeah.
He's legend.
Same with Ovi. And then like Jack Eichel was the other name that popped up for me, but I think he's on that realm just
I
pull
think
up.
so.
He's in with the pasta.
Connor Hellebuck.
MVP. I still hold a grudge. I had plus 450 Leon Draisaitl last season. That was bull. But you need to know information. The Oilers are expected, we think, and they should be hitting the ice any minute right now, to be having the same lineup as they did Saturday night. Bert, no, we'll throw it up in a couple minutes when we get confirmation, actually. We'll do that. But this, continue with Need to Know, will be Edmonton's 9th home game of the season compared to 16 on the road. The Oilers are 5-1-2 at home compared to 5-8-3 away from Rogers Place ice. That's a 750 points percentage at home compared to a 406 points percentage on the road. So home cooking is very needed for these Edmonton Oilers. Their power play improves from 28 to 29%, very vaguely, at home. But get this, the PK on the road, 78%. And at home, shoots up to 90% for the Edmonton Oilers. The PK, there's been a couple surprises this year for the Oilers. And from where I was in the summer, I think that was top 3 thing I was most concerned about. Shout out Bouchard, who's been a killer on the PK this year because they have found a way to turn it around. This will be the second meeting of the season between the Oilers and the Stars. Edmonton, if you remember, or you may have blocked it from your memory, lost 4-3 in a shootout to Dallas back on November 4th. The Oilers had a 2-goal lead 2 times in that hockey game, but found a way to blow it and piss down their leg. Eventually lose in a shootout. Connor McDavid had a 2-point night. Mikko Rantanen scored 2 goals, added an apple in that hockey game. So it will be a sight for sore eyes that he is not out there tonight. Stuart Skinner gets the start. 8-6-3 record on the season, and even 3.00 goals against average with an .885 save percentage. He stopped 35 of 38 against Florida on Saturday. He was looking good. And if you compare his numbers to Calvin Pickard, he's great this season, Banks. Dallas Stars side of your need to know information. They are 13-5-4 on the season, which is second in the Central Division. But get this, third in the entire NHL. They just so happen to play in the division with the Colorado Avalanche, who look, I'll say it, like an absolute wagon this year and kind of put the fear of God in me when I watched them play hockey. The Stars have gone 7-2-1 over their last 10 games, and they're in the midst of a 4-game road trip right now. This is game number 3 for them. So they beat Vancouver 4-2 on Thursday, and then they lost to Calgary in a shootout on Saturday where you saw Rantanen took out Matt Coronado. They'll be in Edmonton tonight, and then their final game against Seattle, final game of the road trip, Seattle tomorrow. So this is the first half of the back-to-back for the Dallas Stars. Bert, if you got the head-to-head, the tail the tape between the 2 hockey teams, throw that up on the screen right now. You see the Stars, well, they lead the Oilers in 3 out of 4 categories. But damn it, that PK for the Oilers, it's been showing up. So Dallas, those 2 numbers at the top, each of them ranks 7th in the entire NHL. You see it, 3.18 goals per game, 2.73 against per game. But it's going to be the battle of the elite power plays tonight. Oilers come in 28.8%. That is 3rd in the entire league, while the Dallas Stars are 2nd in the NHL at 29.3%. Don't take any penalties tonight, or do, and bet the over. And this one could get wild. It could get freaky. But once again, no Mikko Rantanen on that PP1 for the Stars. They're not only without Rantanen, but they will be tonight without Thomas Harley, who's been out 4 weeks and I think is still considered week to week. Ilya Lyubushkin is not on the road trip for them. Nils Lundqvist, LTIR. Old friend Adam Ernie is technically on LTIR. Shout out to former power play guy Glenn Gulletson, who's now the head coach of the Dallas Stars. Bringing in a lunch pail guy in one Adam Ernie, and the people's elbow, the Ernie elbow. And of course, they've been without Matt Duchene since like the 5th game of the season. There was rumors that there's some some that he was on this road trip for the Stars, but then Jason Gregor confirmed earlier today he is not on this trip for the Stars, so we will not expect to see him. Jason Robertson and Rantanen lead the team in points. They each have 28 in 22 games this year. But Robo, he's leading the way, man. He leads the team in goals with 13. He is currently on a 6-game goal streak in which he has 10 goals, 4 apples, 14 points over that 6-game stretch. You could even say 15 in his last 7. Wyatt Johnston, he's starting to find his way. I mean, he's always been a good player. We know this. He's on that bubble for Team Canada because of how well he's played. 21 points in 22 games. However, I'd argue if you're looking for a young guy, Bedard, Celebrini, and then Wyatt Johnston. But he has found a way to produce for years now at such a young age. Miro Heiskanen has 19 points in 22, averages over 25 minutes a night. The other night against Calgary, he played 32 minutes. This team needs him with no Harley, no Labushkin. Well, look at the Dallas back end. It's not looking great right now. That's why Miro Heiskanen's going to be on the ice a lot. And then Jake Ottinger expected to get the start. 9-4-2 record, 2.72 goals against with a 9.02 save percentage. Let's go now. Your storyline, your key to victory. What are you looking for? Play along in the chat. What are you looking for first game back home from the Edmonton Oilers? Because for me, it's my storyline in this game is that regardless of some of the injuries to the Stars, regardless of the suspension to Mikko Rantanen, this is back-to-back Western Conference Finals. These two teams don't like each other. They know each other very well. We have seen some high-scoring, run-and-gun, up-and-down, entertaining-ass games from the Oilers and Stars in the NHL playoffs over the last couple of years. I hope we get some of that hockey, but I do hope the Oilers carry over the emotion that we saw over this road trip. I don't want them to sit back and not be the aggressor that they were against Tampa, against Florida, and even that third period against the Washington Capitals. It'll be an interesting matchup, regardless of the injuries here for Dallas, and they do have a new head coach. There's a whole nother realm. No DeBoer. It's our guy in one Glenn Gulletson. I think this will be a very exciting hockey game, regardless of Rantanen not being out there. Robo's been doing it all himself. Heiskanen is going to live on the ice for more than half the game. Pangsy, you got a storyline or a key to victory, something you're watching tonight?
You betcha. I think a key to victory for the Edmonton Oilers tonight is play with pace. Like you said, we saw it in the last 2 games against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They were hard on the forecheck, and they were forechecking with intent. There are times where you could make it look like you're skating hard and really doing nothing, but it really looked like they're putting 110% effort to retrieve the puck. We saw it against Florida, and sometimes with the Oilers, they're kind of guilty of just sitting back a little bit. So tonight, with a depleted lineup, you don't have Mikko Rantanen, you don't have Thomas Harley. Thomas Harley is such a really good defenseman, good overall defenseman. If I'm the Edmonton Oilers, I'm playing with pace, and I'm looking at my old ball hockey defense partner, Alex Petrovic, who's playing 20 minutes a night. I'm dumping it in his corner, and I'm going to work there.
He's your old ball hockey teammate?
Yeah.
What a pull. What a pull.
Yeah. Taught him everything you knew there.
Yeah, boy, Pangs. Well, he appears sometimes, and I do this too often where I talk too much shit on pregame, but I'm going to do it again. Appears you haven't taught him much, Pangsy. Also, somebody said, Dude Guy 777, Oilers need to play pissed off. Sometimes you need to bring that emotion. And I think back on home ice tonight, I just saw the walkout video. A little bit of home hockey. Look at that.
Ooh.
That just looks right. Seeing the boys back in the
So
royal blue. Looking good, looking good, looking good. But the one thing I want to talk about, we'll wait for the lineup confirmation in a couple minutes, because obviously they just hit the ice. But we got to talk about it, man, because it's flown under the radar way too much. But Evan Bouchard has really found his game as of late for the Edmonton Oilers. And he, over the month of November, might be the MVP for these Oilers. We all know how this season started for Bouchard, right? I'd say rough with a capital R. He didn't look engaged. He was having some horrible, breathtaking turnovers in the worst way possible. He was shying down from physicality. Some tape-to-tape, D-to-D passes weren't looking good. His keep-ins at the blue line weren't going good. We all know he went pointless for his first 6 games of the season, and plus minus, that's a team number, and it's one I don't totally care about, but he was -9 in the month of October. The reason I mention that is because in the month of November, he has been +9, and he's been incredible. He has 13 points over his last 12 games, averaging over 23 minutes a night, and he's found multiple facets of his game here. He's starting to look like an absolute stud. Bert, we have this graphic here. Shout out to Golden Arrow Hockey on Oilersnation.com as it shows the Oilers this November with and without Evan Bouchard on the ice. And it doesn't take a genius to look at those numbers and see it. Goals for per 60 with 4.3, without 1.1. It's a difference of 3.2 in goals for per 60. You look at the expected goals per 60. Also way better. Goals against, same thing seems to be true. Look at that, people. He might not just be an offensive point munching type of guy. These numbers have been incredible in the month of November, and he's been doing it in multiple facets, right? He's had the skill. He's obviously been shooting pucks. Some of these passes we've been seeing over to Jack Roslovic, specifically on Saturday night, those are elite tape-to-tape passes. He's starting to find his breakout game once again. The keep-ins at the blue line, which is a very difficult thing to do, is something Bouchard has really improved upon. And then the thing of all things, I mentioned the penalty kill earlier. Evan Bouchard has become a staple on the PK for the Oilers. In the month of November, he leads all Oilers players in time on ice on the PK, and I think it's over 23 minutes. He's a major reason for this PK turnaround this season. And we know it. Tough stretches, bad errors. I don't think we are ever going to see them be completely avoided in Evan Bouchard's game. You live by the sword, die by the sword. But I haven't said that phrase in what feels like all of the month of November. But the one thing we know about Bouch, and this applies to bad playoff games, this applies to bad games in the regular season, tough stretches, Evan Bouchard, more often than not, finds a way to bounce back. Nobby was talking to the media earlier today and mentioning he might be playing his best hockey since the Stanley Cup playoffs last season. Follow the new Oilers Nation every day once again. Great clip from Tyler and Liam doing some big cat PFT like on Pardon My Take, but explain it. So, when Ekholm plays his best, it's with Bouchard. When Nurse plays his best, and it's kind of turned his game around a bit, it's with Bouchard. Brett Kulak's best play we've ever seen comes to be with Evan Bouchard. When are we just going to stop and admit that Evan Bouchard is an elite defenseman, is worth $10.5 million, and he has been leading from the back end for the Edmonton Oilers lately. So again, Saturday night, 3 points, +5. Pangs, Bouch, he needs his flowers right now because he has been incredible.
Absolutely. I've said this before. Evan Bouchard, when his career is over, there's going to need to be full-on lab studies on why does he start the season so slow. But for what we know, just like clockwork, he starts revving the engine and he goes from 0 to 100 just like that. Evan Bouchard has played tremendous. On that road trip, he was second in points with 9 points in 7 games. An interesting stat that stood out to me is he actually led in those 7 games. He led the Oilers with 21 shots. To me, earlier in the season, his shots were getting blocked. They were hitting shin pads. They were just getting blocked. Missing wide. But now he's not overthinking things. He's using his instincts. He's shimmy shaking. He's deking at the line. He's getting pucks through. Evan Bouchard, like we said, he starts slow, but right now he's just flat out dominant.
He's in the fucking zone right now. There's only one way to put it. And Evan, hey, maybe he shouldn't be sleeping in his own bed. Maybe he should be staying at a hotel because he found something over this 7-game road trip for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's go now. Dogpatch, starting goaltenders, brought to you by the very bar we are inside right now. Bar or restaurant / bakery. It does it all over here with Oilers Nation upstairs with some podcasts going live as well. We're going to have a lot of events going down. We've got, I believe it's December 14th. It's Tis the Sizz, which is kind of like a, there you see it on your screen. Shout out my boy Bert. It's going down, I believe, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. We've also got pre-gaming going live at 4 p.m. on this game on Saturday. So Sunday. This could be a good one. Come on down. It's like a Christmas market type thing going on. The ladies of Oilers Nation are putting this on. I will be here. I have a girl's name in Aaron. Isn't your wife's name Aaron?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out. It's a hot name. It's a hot name. Shout out. It's going to be an awesome time at Dogpatch. Obviously, we had our Nation Night Out on Saturday. Keep it locked on socials because we're going to have another one, I do believe, before 2026. Don't quote me on it. But also, just check the schedule or check the socials all the time. Me and Brett basically live here. Pangs is getting a bomb burger tonight. I'm getting a no-name pizza and several Dogpatch beers. It's going to be a good one. Bert, pull it up to tell the tape between the two goaltenders. Stu said that a lot on Saturday night against Otter. in one Jake Ottinger. Stu, 8-6-3, 3.00 with an 885 save percentage. Then Ottinger, he's won 9 of his 15 starts this year, 2.72 goals against with a 902. We got the answer in the poll. 65% of people say no on Jordan Binnington. I agree, and this pre-gaming chat, they've got their brains. They know that Stu has been pretty good so far this season. I mean, once again, maybe that's not the right choice of words, but he hasn't been the biggest issue for the Edmonton Oilers. He's had very good flashes. And on Saturday, he was dope, dude. He outdueled Sergei Bobrovsky, which is not something we've been able to say a lot. One goalie he's been able to outduel a lot is this guy tonight in one Jake Ottinger. So I looked this up earlier. So Stuart Skinner's regular season numbers against the Dallas Stars, yuck. 3-4-1, 3.33 goals against with an 876 save percentage. Bad, not good. But Stuart Skinner in the NHL playoffs in 11 games against the Dallas Stars is 8-3. I would say 8-3-0, but you can't have an overtime loss in the NHL playoffs like that. He has a 1.95 goals against average with a 923 save percentage over that 11-game span in the playoffs. Some goaltenders will tell you, Doobie has told us before that you don't know why. Sometimes it's just the jersey color you see. Sometimes it's the building you're in. Tonight going to be on home ice where we know Stu tends to perform a little bit better. But Stu Otter, I mean, you look at it on paper, you would think that, hey, one goalie is significantly better than the other one. But in the clutch, in the moments you need it most, Stu has found a way to outduel him. And then on the other side, this will be the first time we see Jake Ottinger since he was pulled in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals. That was the last time we saw him. That was the last time we saw Pete DeBoer. Shout out to him. We'll see him in Team Canada for the Olympics as he still has his job. The Oilers have given Jake Ottinger trouble in the NHL playoffs. He has an 881 compared to Stu's 923. It's an interesting matchup, Pangs, one we've seen multiple times before, and Stu has the upper hand. I don't care what people say. He's been the better goalie when these two play against each other.
Yeah, like you mentioned, maybe it's just something about the team that gets Stuart Skinner going. And him being a local Edmonton boy, maybe he saw those early or late 90s Dallas Stars beatings. He's like, I will avenge those losses. So Stuart Skinner, for whatever reason, he rises to the occasion against the Dallas Stars. And the one thing I really liked about Stuart Skinner was his third period against the Florida Panthers. He looked locked in. He looked square. He looked like he wasn't giving up a ton of rebounds. That's the Stuart Skinner when he's elevating. He's playing at a high game. When he's locked in, that's the Stuart Skinner the Oilers need. And here's hoping against a team that he does very well with. Could be a good stepping stone for him to go on a run here.
And no Mikko Rantanen tonight. As we know, he's been able to beat Stuart Skinner from time to time. The shitty part is Robo is out on the ice tonight, and he's definitely beat Stuart Skinner multiple times in their past before. Before we talk about the Dallas Stars, we did get confirmation on the Edmonton Oilers lineup. So, Bert, throw it up for me, brother, as we expect to see Matt Savoy with Connor McDavid and Jack Roslovic for your top line. Your second one, Vasily Podkolzin with Leon Draisaitl and Andrew Mangiapane. Your third line of Trent Frederick, Rico Suave, Adam Henrique, and Zachary Martin Hyman. Then Connor Clattenburg, game number 2 for him with David Tomaszek and Matthias Jeans Janmark. I don't know why I threw that in there. Ekholm with Bush, Nurse with Alec Regula, Reggie, as the boys call him, and Brett Kulak with Ty Emberson. There's very limited ice time, but I guess let me ask you, what'd you think of Connor Clattenburg in that Saturday game? Didn't play a whole heck of a lot. Till the very end of the game, he found a way to get into scrums, some emotion. The Oilers they're up against it right now with some injuries and obviously the salary cap as well. It was an interesting call up because we talked to Ryan Holt, commentator for the Bakersfield Condors, on I want to say it was Friday. By the way, he said, no, maybe it was a couple days before. He said he thought Roby Jarventia would be the first call up for the Edmonton Oilers, but it was Connor Clattenburg, a guy who had 2 points in 15 games, but 59 penalty minutes. It's obviously the end of the road trip and kind of thing, but the Oilers have needed some of that emotion lately in their game. It's kind of brought them into the fight a little bit. What'd you think about him being the call up? And did he show you anything on Saturday night?
I really liked that call up. Clattenburg is exactly the type of player when he's ready to go full time. He's going to be I think he's going to be a force at the NHL level. His game on against Florida, I looked up the fancy stats after the game, and it was so impressive. He was first in many categories. He had 100% high danger chances for. He had an 85-71% scoring chances for, 6-1 in under 6 minutes of ice time. He had 79% expected goals for. So in under 6 minutes, he kind of made an impact. He tilted the ice in the Oilers' favor. And then at the end of the game, we saw what he could do, scrum it up. He got AJ Greer, the greasy guy, riled up. So Connor Clattenburg, in under 6 minutes, I felt he was very effective.
Shout out Ryder and Lisa. They played our clip from Oilersnation After Dark, where I basically just called AJ Greer a bitch for about a minute straight. I stand by it, brother. I had several beers in me at that point. You wake up in the morning, you see there's 70,000 views on a clip, and you go, oh, shit, what did I say in there? Then I repeatedly called him bitch made and all kinds of things, and I went, no, I stand by that. No. Insane stuff, right? Then we got to go about Dallas.
Actually, Aaron, sorry, I just got a live. AJ Greer just responded to you. Here's live footage from him right now.
Brett got a new soundboard and got some new sound effects in there as well. Beautiful way to work that in, Bert. I was curious how you were going to do it.
Very well
He's a
done.
pro. He's an
Very
absolute
well done.
professional. Absolute professional. Let's go now to the away lineup, which is brought to you by the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament coming up in 2026 on beautiful Lake Mildred, January 23rd to the 25th. Still got room for teams. Teams up from four to 8 players. It's 4-on-4 ODR hockey. There's been injuries before. There's also been winners before. Champions. These banners fly forever. Flags fly forever. And me and Brett still looking for a team. So we're still trying to make one. NationGear.ca. Sign your team up now. And then also, actually, 2 for 1, Bert. Let's do it. Nation Vacation. That's also coming up in March 24th to 27th, 2026. We're going back to Sin City. And Pangs, you came on the Nation Vacation to Vegas last year, so you can speak firsthand about how lit some of these trips are, about some of the trouble that me specifically and the God above in Brett specifically will get into. How good was that trip to Vegas? And tell the people why they should go.
Yeah, you should definitely go.
Yeah.
It was my first one. It was amazing. I want to give a shout out to all the nation citizens that I met on the trip too. Amazing community. Shout out to Mr. Burns. I met Mr. Burns on the trip there. You just meet such a good community. And this guy, the other guys, the party that they do. I'm a little bit older. I had to try to keep up with them. It was amazing time.
We'll go at anyone's pace, but I'm going at my pace, and Brett's going at his pace, and we're going to have an excellent time. Tyler's going to be there. A bunch of the Oilers Nation staff is going to be there. But once again, nationgear.ca. These things can sell out. You don't want to get FOMO when we're over in Vegas and you were like, oh, man, I regret I should have done that. Don't live in that world. Also, I like people in the chat saying, very nice of AJ Greer to join us. Wow. The away lineup for the Dallas Stars this evening. Bert, throw it up for me, brother. Your top line is expected to be Jason Robertson with Rupe Hintz and Tyler Seguin. Jamie Benn, who's back from an injury with Wyatt Johnston, and my boy Sam Steele, second line right winger, went to kindergarten with him, junior high with him as well. Shout out Fultondale Firebirds. Then your third line, this is where it starts to dip off for the Stars. Oscar Back, Justin with Maverick Bork, and then your fourth line, Colin Blackwell with Radek Foxa and Nathan Bastian. Your deep pairings, Essa Lindell with Heiskanen, Kyle C with Vlad K, Leon Michelle with Alex Petrovic, your boy, former ball hockey teammate. We just got to talk about Jason Robertson because you're going to need to know where he is on the ice at every single point. He's having an unbelievable year, 28 points in 22 games, 10 goals in his last 6 games. He is on a 6-game goal-scoring streak. We cannot allow it to be 7. The Oilers have last change, something we have not had for the last 7 hockey games. So I guess on both sides. Expect to see the shutdown pairing of, I guess maybe not shutdown, but Matthias Ekholm, I would expect to see a lot on one at Jason Robertson. Who knows? You know the Oilers tend to roll with their deep pairings. And then on the other side of this, Miro Heiskanen played 32 minutes against the Calgary Flames. You look at that back end for the Dallas Stars, and it leaves some room for imagination. I didn't even say some of those guys' last names, but Heiskanen, he's a dog. However, we've seen Connor McDavid dog walk him.
his mic cut out there. Yeah, we've seen Connor McDavid dog walk him. I think it was 2 years ago in game 6 or game 5 when Connor McDavid did that dirty backhand goal there. So Miro Heiskanen, he's a great player. Jason Robertson, I wanted you guys to watch for this. Jason Robertson has Stuart Skinner's number. He likes to pick it low on Stuart Skinner, and I think within the last couple playoffs, he's had 2-goal games on him. He knows where to pick it on Stuart Skinner, so just watch out for that tonight.
He's on my fantasy team. The team I let auto draft, my whole squad. It's the best squad I've ever drafted. I'm first place in the Oilersnation League. I never would make smart decisions the way auto draft does. And it was so funny because I was mad at Brett and I was like, you guys, because I was doing the show upstairs and they started the draft in the middle of the day. I was like, you couldn't wait like 10 more minutes for me to finish. Brett, I retract yelling at you about that because this has worked out in my benefit better than ever, brother. Of the booze. Bring them down. Let's go now. Bordzy's Bankroll brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, please play responsibly. Man, it's been a tough year gambling for Oilers fans everywhere. ONE, I think every one of them is down. Jay, Tyler, Liam down like at least 7 units.
Jeez.
Bankroll, at least down 7 units so far this season. It has not been going well, but tonight we keep at it responsibly. 19 plus, and we're going with Zachary Martin Hyman, 1+ point at -140. In most of the games he's played, he's averaging over. He's only played 5. He's averaging over 20 minutes of ice time per night. I get he's on the third line. He's on there to be a play driver, and we know Nobby is going to find a way to work him in with 97. It's also going to be on PP1 for these Edmonton Oilers. So I like a Zach Hyman 1+ point. Sneaky like a Zach Hyman goal. 5 games without one. Now we go. Now we go, Zach. Your second option, Jack Roslovic, just going to the well. 2+ shots at -200. He had 4 shots against Florida. Once again, is expected to play with 97. We know Rozzy has got a quick trigger. Still working on that nickname because I don't like that. We need a good nickname for Jack Roslovic.
Yeah.
And then your final one, Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse. 2+ shots on goal at -170. He has 13 over his last 5 games. Nursey tends to get in the stretch where, like, you know, he scored 2 goals from deep a couple games ago. And after he does that, he tends to just fire shit on net because, hey, who knows? It could go in. I'm going to benefit from that. I'm going to gamble on that, especially being back on home ice. And Darnell has started to turn his game around a little bit, especially offensively. He's up to 10 points in the 24 games they've played this season. Parlayed all together. I forget what it was, but it was +300 something. Let me do it again. Banger. Which of these 3 do you like the most, my friend?
I will go with the Darnell Nurse +2 shots. On that 7-game road trip, he shot the second most shots in that 7 games. He 18 pucks on net there for Darnell Nurse. So if we're going with the trends and statistics, Darnell Nurse, he's going to be throwing over 2 shots on net tonight.
Yeah, there's going to be little flutter pucks right into the pads. They're not going to do much, but that benefits Bet365. Bert, what about you, brother? You got any spiders clicking up this evening? What do you think about these 3? And then give me a score prediction and an anytime goal scorer, Bert. God above.
Cool. I like this Rozzy 2+ shots. I think I'm sitting there. I think he's just been automatic offensive driver for the Oil lately. So yeah, no, I like that one. And I do have a spider. In fact, we figured this out on Saturday. It's Northside Norm came up to us and said, "What's a 9-legged parlay?" And we turned out it's a Russian spider, a Chernobyl spider. It has 1 extra leg. That's 9 legs. So I'm actually running in support of Northside Norm with a Chernobyl Russian spider. I have Connor 2+ points, Leon 1+ points. Didn't even realize that I did this, but I still did it. 2+ shots for Robbo. Hyman 1+ shot. Roslovic 1+ shot. Bouchard 1+ shot. Darnell 2+ blocks, and Roslovic 1+ point. Oh, and if you're counting at home, that's only 8 because I have Connor with a 1+ assist as well. So we'll see. I think that's like it's relatively borderline and like easy. They're like smaller, so we'll see. We'll see. But I think the Oil win pretty big. They're back at home. They're happy to be home. I think it'll be 5-2, 6-2. One of the two. Decide which one between the two Can I say 2 one more time? Who knows? But I'm going to go, I guess, Jack Roslovic. Why not?
Pangs, what about you? Score prediction, anytime goal scorer. Also, that Bordzy bankroll, plus 310. Placed it right there.
All right, let's go. I'm going 4-2 Oilers.
And anytime goal scorer.
Oh,
Who
yeah,
gets on- who gets on
anytime
the
goal
board?
scorer. Let's go with Zach Hyman.
I love that. Need 1+ point for me. You know, fuck it. Let's speak it into existence here. 6-1 win for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's give these home fans what they've been waiting over 2 weeks to see. I want to see some emotion. The Stars team is injured. Jake Ottinger gets outdueled by Skinner. There's a lot of reasons for optimism here. No ranting. Now we go. Now the Edmonton Oilers start to go. I'm not going to bet on a 6-1 specific finish, but I'm going to hope for it. I'm going to hope for it. That's what we do. Panger, I love you. I appreciate you. Brett, the God above upstairs. Always
Before we go, they pointed out in the chat, which is hilarious because they're 100% right. Chernobyl's in Ukraine.
You see, Brett, when we said this on Saturday, I just said Chernobyl spider, and then it kept being thrown on Russian, and I sat here and I was like, I think it's Russian. I don't know.
Oh,
But like I felt like a little bit. Well, there you go. That's why you have to chat, as everyone's able to hold you accountable. So we're keeping it the Chernobyl spider. We got to let Northside Norm know. So that's we don't all keep saying incorrect things. But chat, I love you for many reasons. That is one of them right there. I also love when you drop down your courtesy, like when you make sure you are subscribed to the ON YouTube. Liam gave a couple rules on Saturday. Like, subscribe, follow ONE every day on Instagram, and give me a couple booyahs in the chat. We were couple beers yelling booyah repeatedly on the show. We see it on the way out. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Good luck on the Bet365 Battlegrounds, and we will talk, hopefully, about a 6-1 Oilers W on Oilers Nation After Dark right here on the ON YouTube. Good luck. Peace out. Talk in a couple hours.